And we're live. Megyn Kelly, Halloween topic. She apparently is in some hot water for not understanding why blackface is bad.
More than hot water. The discussion was simply that some white woman had dressed up as Diana Ross, the famous musician who's a black woman.
Was it for Halloween or for a movie? I want to
for Halloween.
Okay.
I want to say. I could be wrong about that, but it's immaterial. But she basically said, "What's the big deal? She's dressed up as Diana Ross. Like, what's wrong with that? This isn't disrespectful blackface." Sort of echoing what Woody has said from time to time. And now she has lost her show and she's fired from NBC. Of course, she gets to keep her $69 million, so fuck it, right?
She doesn't have a hood pass like me, so it's harder for her to get away with the things that I can. That's her problem.
Yeah, you definitely have a hood pass.
Yeah, I mean, Forrest gave it to me.
I didn't look into it, but was her thing really like, yeah, if they want to dress up as this person, in a non-mocking way, that's okay?
I only read about it. I didn't see the actual video.
That.
So, but I think that her argument kind of mirrored one that I've made in the past, which is like, they're not, if I understand it right, they weren't mocking Diana Ross. They were just dressing up as Diana Ross because they liked Diana Ross and they thought it was like a cool thing to be, in the same way that people would do Spider-Man or Captain America or Diana Ross.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, they could do whiteface.
I feel like people are being snowflakes about this. Now look, if you're mocking a race, I don't like that, right? That's mean-spirited. It's a form of bullying. If you're just being that race for Halloween because you think they're cool, then I don't understand. I think people are being too
they're not
sensitive.
even being a race for Halloween. They're being a person, right? Like that's not. They're not even like, hey, you know what I should be? I'm going to be a really offensive version of Chinese people, or I'm going to be just a black guy with a lot of offensive stereotypes. They're like, hey, I'm going to be this person who I kind of admire.
I'm sitting here as an incredibly disrespectful version of Christ, and yet I'll let you know that it doesn't matter how respectful you're trying to be. And if there's a specific black person that you're trying to be, you can't do it. Unless you're Robert Downey Jr., because he was playing a guy who's playing a guy who's playing a guy. And that's okay.
That was hilarious. That's funny because that was in a mainstream movie 10 years ago.
That movie is fucking excellent. He was nominated for an Oscar. Bad taste!
See, he was nominated for an Oscar for wearing blackface. And 10 years later, Megyn Kelly gets fired. Well, I mean, to be fair, Megyn Kelly's ratings were shit, and they're probably looking for a way to get more advertising money out of it. And they're like, "Hey, you're fired for. Thank God you said something. Like we were really hoping to get you out of here, and now you are." But I agree with Woody's initial point of Kyle's right that you can't get away with it. Like, there's no reason to risk it because your life will be ruined. Like, it will be over. It doesn't matter if you're not trying to be offensive or not, because people will have fun patting themselves on the back about how much better they are than you. But there's a chasm of difference between a minstrel show in 1904 and being like, man, I admire this black person, this person who happens to be black. I'm going to be them.
Yeah, if I went as Obama for Halloween this year because I thought he was the best president of my lifetime and I dressed up as him and I did it in a respectful way, it's not insulting, or at least if your intent isn't insulting, then some guy getting offended on behalf of Obama, it just seems off target.
You're white, you don't get to decide that.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the way the world is.
Flip it. Yeah, I'm with Taylor. I understand that there are people who operate that way. But
white if you want to be very offensive,
if you want to be Woody's gamer tag for Halloween, knock yourself out. Go for it. Do the whole fan on your back and garbage can or garbage bag wing and be Woody for Halloween. I don't care. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I'm kind of honored that you'd pick me. But
unless you're a black person, you paint yourself white, and then that's offensive.
No,
you don't get to decide that either.
If they're being Woody, I do get to decide that.
Why would anybody? Nobody's ever been fired for whiteface. Nobody fucking cares.
No, of course not. We're not allowed to.
I mean, but why would you either way?
I'm just telling you. She had several black people on the show to try to help educate herself. They all told her that she had fucked up. And then Al Roker comes out of nowhere, the whitest black guy in the world. And then he has to explain. When you've got Al Roker explaining minstrel shows to you, you done fucked up.
He's explaining minstrel shows?
Yeah.
That would be funny if she was talking about it really gently, well, she just wants to be Condoleezza Rice. We can take a look at the picture right here, and there are like big lips and like googly eyes and like the most offensive character. And she's like, I see, Mr. President. I feel like I'm looking right at Miss Rice right now. Like if that was her take, that would be so much fucking funny. See, I have no problem with this. Same one, really. Really, okay. I think minstrel shows are an important part of our history. if she took that hot take.
Yeah, if you're not being disrespectful in your costume, if that's not what's in your heart, then to advance race relations, we need to stop throwing daggers about it. I guess you don't throw daggers. Throwing spears. Oh my God, I just made it racist. We need to stop shooting bullets about this. I don't know what to say. We need to stop, attacking people.
Are you dog whistling about crime in Chicago?
I don't mean to be. But yeah, people who are too sensitive and cause problems when they don't need to be, that's not good for, yeah, I know Kyle's doing his thing. That's not good for race relations.
Kyle, can you absolve Woody real quick?
There's no absolution for this kind of blatant racism.
I'll take the lead, Woody. You are forgiven.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I
actually can't forgive you unless he's on board.
People who have purity in their hearts shouldn't be thrown out to the wolves like that.
That's not what my father wrote.
Is that right?
Your dad was a dick, dude.
Of course he is. He is a jealous and vengeful god. You better smarten up or burn in a lake of fire. That's his game.
But your dad's cool with blackface.
Oh, he's fine with it.
Yeah, he actually didn't he invent it?
He did. It was a punishment.
Yeah, he when he cursed people.
He cursed people by making them black.
All the sons of Ham.
That's so racist.
That's literally in the Bible where they're like, and they were cursed with dark skin from hereafter, and it's like reading back at that, it's like, ooh, this is one of those ones we don't talk about anymore. Like in any church, they're not gonna be like, today we're gonna talk about black people and the curse of darkness. Like no pastor is leading with that, which is so funny because when you spend as much time in church as I did, you figure out the cycle of things, and so when you finally read the book on your own, you're like, oh, this is why we were on that cycle, because that was like the good cycle of wholesome things. Like, of course, they're not going to bring the cursed people to be black or, beat your slave half to death. So
how long is this thing that Kyle linked where we get to see Megyn Kelly? Let's watch it.
Yeah, it's time stamped.
I'm at
125.
I hear you. The big screen wasn't set up.
Take your time. I was just saying I'm at 125.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
I'm gonna be a minute. I'm sorry.
No worries.
She went from being real popular on Fox to not very popular on Fox to semi-popular on NBC, and then not popular anywhere very quickly. It seems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her show sucked. Got poor ratings. Became silly quite right away, and then she said some stupid shit. No, I just watched Howard Stern mock it.
Howard Stern was giving shit to Norm Macdonald or something recently. Did you hear about that?
That's surprising. He had Norm on the show to defend those comments he made not too long ago, and they had a good time together. I didn't catch him saying anything bad about Norm, but I don't listen every single day, and I think he does 3 shows a week now.
Oh, maybe I'm mistaken then. Let me try and find this.
But it works.
All right, I'm ready.
Ready, set, play.
Broker really chime in on this issue?
The fact is, while she apologized to the staff, she owes a bigger apology to folks of color around the country, because this is a history going back to the 1830s. Minstrel shows to demean and denigrate a race wasn't right. I'm old enough to have lived through Amos and Andy, where you had white people in blackface playing 2 black characters, and with just magnifying the worst stereotypes about black people. And that's what the big problem is. And that's what the issue is.
And following that, we had Megyn Kelly on her show start with this.
And I want to begin with 2 words. I'm sorry. You may have heard that yesterday we had a discussion here about political correctness and Halloween costumes. And that conversation turned to whether it is ever okay for a person of one race to dress up as another. a black person making their face lighter or a white person making theirs darker to make a costume complete. I defended the idea, saying as long as it was respectful and part of a Halloween costume, it seemed okay. I learned that given the history of blackface
she's so hot when she's
in
sad.
awful ways by racists in this country,
sad.
it is not okay for that to be part of any costume, Halloween
I'd
or
like to
otherwise.
wash her
Then hitting
feet.
on the notes of she doesn't want to add to the divide in the country right now, and then there's a standing ovation in that crowd. We saw a
All right,
variety
that's
of reactions.
All right.
Yeah, the main takeaway is Al Roker's comments.
I mean, I'll get that, I can't convince millions of people they're wrong. And perhaps if I disagree with millions of people, there's a chance that I'm wrong, right? That's go that way sometimes. But I don't know. I see where she was coming from. She wasn't trying to hurt anybody's feelings. She wasn't bullying. She wasn't putting anyone down. It was a sort of a, can we move past this kind of thought process, which doesn't seem inherently evil.
Yeah, it's never going to be something that's moved past in this country ever.
Al Roker is like, yeah, I had to live through minstrel shows. Yeah, this wasn't a minstrel show. Like, I get that. Minstrel shows were mocking a whole race of people, right? And that we all agree is bad. But
when did minstrel shows stop?
I don't know. I don't.
It was called Black Tuesday. It happened on a
The only one I can think of is
1978, the last of the minstrel shows. I've got it on DVD.
I want to say when I was a little kid, there were certain Disney racist films that still existed. Like Jungle Book, I think, has hints of that.
Not Jungle Book necessarily, but Dumbo has these crows.
So there's the crows in Dumbo, and Jungle Book has people too. It has an ape, a orangutan that does some singing. That's clearly meant to be like a black jazz band type thing. I don't know why you're laughing. I'm right about this.
Because you called it a orangutan.
What is it? Orangutan?
Yeah, there's no H.
All right, so the orangutan, whoops, that I think was not a really respectful display. It was. I can see how people would be offended by that orangutan, but Anyway, I
don't think the orangutan was voiced. I want to say it was voiced by that white guy. He's a famous voice actor. Oh, not the orangutan. I'm thinking of the bear in Jungle Book. I want to say the bear was voiced by the same actor who voiced like the in Robin Hood. He was like Little John. That guy's got a great voice. I can't think of it.
Bill Harris.
Was that the guy? I love that guy's voice. I love those old Disney cartoons. Guy. What's your favorite Disney cartoon? Like the old ones, the Disney movies.
It's got to be old.
Well, Aladdin, Lion King, the animated ones, not the digital shit.
As a kid, Jungle Book was my number one by far. I love the Jungle Book.
Bare necessities, them simple bare necessities.
Yeah, I remember when my brother tore all the tape out of that of the tape and ruined it, and I was so upset.
I liked the Jungle Book too when I was a kid, but I really just liked the one song. The one song was enough for that whole movie to be the best.